Wow, did this movie surprise me. I went in with the lowest expectations. The trailers didn't leave me inspired. The drama was kinda for the most part. And after everything that has happened with Don't Worry Darling, I wasn't sure if this was worth the time. But damn, did this movie leave me giggling and inspired.
Us.
Me too.
Sorry, we don't
I don't really watch rom-coms all that often. In fact, I actively avoid them because most of the time, they're complete trash. And not just in a script and production way, but in a thematic way. There's always some horrible message being delivered to audiences about how a relationship should work or what makes a relationship work. And while I do grasp the idea that rom-coms purposely extremify things for entertainment purposes, there's no excuse to not say something meaningful based in some reality. The last rom-com to actually have an effect on me as a person is La La Land, and yes, that movie can be pretty absurd at moments, especially as a musical. But its bittersweet ending of two people who love each other, who achieve their dreams apart, feels authentic to real life and the sacrifices people have to make. I'm not a rom-com expert, I'm just tired of horrible themes being presented and justified in them, and thankfully, the invite did not follow any trope we've come to expect. In fact, I did not see this movie going the route that it did, and boy was this a roller coaster. Apparently, this movie is an adaptation of a Spanish film known as Sentimental, which was adapted from a play, so take that however you will. But well done Rashida Jones and Will McCormack for writing such a tight-knit script. We follow a middle-aged couple portrayed by Olivia Wilde and Seth Rogen, currently dealing with some marital issues, but they're inviting their neighbors over for dinner, maybe hoping that this interaction will help their relationship. Who's this other couple, you may ask? Well, it's none other than Penelope Cruz and Edward Norton. What begins as a tense argument between two people becomes an almost painstakingly awkward dinner night with twists and turns that no one in my theater saw coming, and everyone was having a laugh. I mean it when I say this might just be the best rom-com of the year, and it takes place entirely within one apartment in San Francisco. Well, not actually SF, they shot this film on a set built in LA, but the setting of this story takes place in SF. Anyways, the production of this film is solid, within a budget of $10 to $15 million, which I'm sure most of went to the actors. It's simply shot all within one location that barely had any changes. Whether that be lighting or separate rooms, barely anything changed. There are a lot of mirror shots in this movie, which I'm not too sure why there is, but maybe there's some message that I'm just not catching up on, but you know, there's a lot of that. Stylistically, there isn't much to go on. I kind of wish they held some shots longer or maybe had some more dynamic movement, some pan movements, but it's fine. This movie is shot pretty well. It's really all about the performances and the dialogue. There isn't some giant action set piece or crazy twist where Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz turn out to be some psychopaths, which for a second I genuinely thought was gonna happen. No. This is strictly a rom-com to the max, and the moment a certain something is finally revealed about Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz, everything just gets all the more fun. That's really when the second act kicks in. My entire theater was fucking giggling, and thank goodness I was sitting next to some folks that were just so down to enjoy the movie. They weren't afraid to react and have a good time with it. They were also the only people who clapped with me when the credits started rolling. I cannot emphasize it enough when I say that the performances are fucking brilliant alongside the immaculate script they're working with. It genuinely felt like I was watching real people talk and argue amongst each other. Sometimes it would get very fast with people talking over each other, and the music is building up to this epic crescendo where someone blows up, but it never gets predictable. This happens multiple times, and each time it's slightly different, which keeps it interesting. Seth Rogen's character doesn't really want the neighbors there and is kind of honest about it. Olivia Wilde's character, who invited them, is trying to keep Rogen in line and get to know them. Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz are the couple. They're the ones who are rock solid and seem to be having the best sex ever. And that's a central plot point to the entire film, if not the central plot point. So we have a couple whose marriage is falling apart and the other whose marriage is going pretty good. Or actually, I don't remember exactly if Norton and Cruise's character are married, but they're a couple. And you can imagine how this dynamic creates a fun atmosphere for audiences to enjoy, because Olivia Wilde is on the edge of freaking out while Seth Rogen is chilling and smoking a joint, then suddenly freaking out too. All the while Norton and Cruise are giving hipster vibes, just trying to read the situation and get a feel for this very obviously struggling couple that might not last much longer. Amazing performances all around with hilarious dialogue that kept me immersed in what was happening. I didn't know or understand some of the quips, but some of my audience members did, and they were laughing out loud. With an ending that felt so organic because you've now come to believe these characters as real people, and this is thanks to the genuine dialogue coming from each person. It's so fucking good, man. The movie just comes all the way back around to this strained marriage and shares some real shit. And I love that. There's no sugarcoating or happy ending bullshit. I'm not against a happy ending, but I'm glad that this film stuck the landing and doesn't waste any time trying to confuse anyone or anything. Guys, The Invite fucking rocks. Definitely check this one out in theaters and have a good time. Alright, that's enough for me. I'll catch you guys next time.